Hello everyone, this is Srishti from Decipher IAS.com. Today we will be just getting introduced with the subject Indian economy. I hope you all would like the subject and enjoy it with me. Now let's start with what is economics. Economics is the social science that describes the factors that determines the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Can you feel I am putting emphasis on production, distribution and consumption of goods and services? You know why? Because we need to understand the same properly while the whole chapter runs, and definitely I will be providing you the brief explanation of the three. Now let's see, what is production? Production is process of combining various material inputs and immaterial inputs like plans, know-hows, etc. in order to make something for consumption. That is the output. Or we can say it is the act of creating output. Understanding? You can say a good or a service which has value and contributes to the utility of individuals. Moving towards distribution now. What is distribution? Distribution in economics refers to the total output, income or wealth which we distributed among the individuals or among the factors of production. I hope, being economics champs, you all must be aware of the factors of production. Okay, land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. For land we pay the rent, for labor we pay the wages, for capital there is interest, and for entrepreneurship is the profits. You all know that, I know this. We will learn about all these things in our next chapters in details. Finally, talking about the consumption. Consumption is a major concept in economics that is also studied by many other social sciences. Economists are particularly interested in the relationship between the consumption and income. So the different schools of economists define production and consumptions differently. According to mainstream economists, only the final purchase of goods and services by the individuals is termed as the consumption, while the other types of expenditure, in particular like fixed investment, intermediate consumption and government spending, are also placed in the separate categories. I hope I am able to reach you guys properly. Now, when we are finished knowing a bit about production, distribution and consumption, we must know what are goods and services. It can easily be defined. Goods are the things or the items which we can touch, which we can feel, that are tangible things you can see. Books, pens, shoes, hats, folders, etc. While services are the things which are intangible, like the care we get from our mother is an intangible thing, but that is not a service provided by her. Services which are the intangible things provided by others for which we pay to them. Doctors, workers, dentists, barbers, waiters, maids, we pay for these things and in return we get the services. Now when we have finished learning very basic concepts of economics, can we move towards the branches of economics? Yes, there are mainly two branches of economics, macroeconomics and microeconomics, where microeconomics is the branch of economics that analyzes the market behavior of the individual consumers and firms. Can you see that I have focused or I have captioned this individual term? Because individual is the thing which we study in microeconomics, whether it is the behavior, whether it is the decision making process, whether it anything which is focused on individual firms, individuals, individual market, individual industry. That's why I have captioned that. Individual consumers and firms, in an attempt to understand the decision making process of the firms and households. It is concerned with the interaction between individual buyers and sellers, the factors that influence the choices made by the buyers and sellers. In particular, microeconomics focuses on patterns of supply and demand and the determination of price and output in individual market. For example, we can say coffee industry. Now let's know about what is macroeconomics. The field of economics that studies the behavior of the aggregate economy. Can you relate that? There's big difference. Microeconomics is about the individual things and macroeconomics talks about the aggregate economy. Aggregate means economy as a whole, not considering any one industry, any one market, any one individual. It is about all, aggregate, complete, in all, in one, as a whole. Macroeconomics studies the behavior of the behavior as the aggregate economy. It examines economy-wide phenomena such as unemployment, national income, rate of growth, gross domestic product, inflation, and price levels, etc. Our focus of studies will be on macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is focused on the movement and trends in the economy as a whole, as I told you earlier also. While in microeconomics, the focus is placed on the factors that affect the decisions made by firms and individuals. The factors that are studied by microeconomics and macroeconomics often influence each other, such as the current level of unemployment in the economy as a whole will affect the supply of the workers which an oil company can hire from. Though economics today studies a wide range of issues and topics, if we take an overall picture, its essence have been very simple: the betterment of human society and life on the earth and improving the living conditions of humanity at large. In this process, the economists have been articulating a number of theories and propositions as to how many and how economy may maximize its economic potential and worth. The first and the foremost work done in this direction was by Scottish philosopher economist Adam Smith in his book The Wealth of Nations. It was the first step taken by him towards reading and studying about economics and number of factors that affect it. The main challenge in the economy is to fulfill the needs of its population. As you know that every population needs to be supplied some goods and some services for its survival and well-being. These goods might include basic needs such as food, shelter, garments, etc. While it might also consist of refrigerators, air conditioners, cars, medicines, computers, etc. Similarly, the services also. People's need may range from healthcare, drinking water, supply, education, to advanced and highly sophisticated services like banking, insurance, airways, telephones, internet, etc. See, as any economy moves on the ladder of development, the process of fulfilling the needs of population becomes a never-ending phenomenon. How? You know how? As an economy achieves the success in supplying one set of goods and services to its population, the population starts the demanding another one, a set of goods and services and which are higher in a higher order. And thus goes on the struggle of the economy, solving one challenge and focusing on the another. You all know the standard of living one set of the population varies from the another. You must be from some middle class family, other must be from higher middle class, other must be from very rich family, or some other must be from very poor family. So the standard of living is different from one set of population to the another. It all depends upon the attempts and the successes of the concerned economies as to which comparative extent they have been able to fulfill the needs of their population. Now there are two aspects of this challenge. First, the availability of the goods and services required by the population. See, and the second, the presence of the supply network. This demand and supply is the thing which rotates and revolves all the time in economics, and you have to understand it properly to completely understand your economics. Demand and supply in themselves are very wide topics to discuss, so we will drop it here only, as this is just an introduction session, but later on we will understand the concept of demand and supply in detail. Now the very big question arises how these goods and services are distributed. In the arena of the distribution network, we have three very historically existing models. state market and state market mix. State market and state market mix. In the first kind of distribution network, the state is the that where government is the one, or we can say the state is the one which takes the whole sole responsibility of supplying the goods and services required by the population without any payments being done by the consumer. We can say, you must be remembering that former Soviet Union and communist China. You must all know that this is one state economy ka example, very good example of state economy. Second category comes the market category. In the second category, the mode of distribution which functions on the basis of price mechanism. In this, goods and services are made available in the market, and on the basis of their demand and supply, the prices are determined in the open market, and finally they are getting distributed to the people. This was distribution system of capitalist economies. The whole Euro-America till 1930s was running on this market economy only. The third and the foremost prevalent mode of distribution developed out of the experiences of the former two systems is the state market mix. This distribution system has certain goods and services which might be available to the population for free at a subsidized prices by the state, and some might be supplied by the market for which the consumers need to pay. You must be understanding that this is the state market mix situation, like in India, where for some things, for below poverty line we have ration cards, and at some things like you can say railway, which is subsidized prices make goods and services are provided, while for other things, other goods and services, the market is open, which runs on the proper demand and supply network. Thank you for watching. Please do comment in the comment box below. That will help us to improve further. Till then, keep visiting our website, that is decipherias.com, for more stuff, and do like our Facebook page, please. Bye bye. Take